Hood Postman, Professor Melly Mel. This is not a glorification or a glamorization. This is an education. You can go anywhere in the world and get a couple of lies, but you come right here to get the truth. Be sure to click the notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below. So when the dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the first and the 15th. Lock the door. Professor Melly Mel, Hood Postman, Dirty Dad. In regards to the Eazy-E search circumstance situations, there's been a lot of information that come out over the years that Eazy might have been set up, or he might have been injected, or there's just some things that just don't necessarily, because one day he was up, and the next thing he was gone.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of saw it. That it was like me talking to him one day, and then a couple of days later, he's in a deep coma and ain't never gonna wake up. A lot of things to me were, especially at the time, were real suspicious. You know, I knew Eric very, very well. Getting married on your deathbed, nobody objected to the marriage. Nobody questioned it.
I didn't know he got married on his deathbed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's interesting.
So, the wife was pregnant.
Her name is
Tamika. She was pregnant. They had just had a baby because the baby couldn't have been more than a year old. But as far as I knew, nobody had AIDS. Nobody else had AIDS. And all of a sudden, Eric's, he's on his deathbed. He's dying. He's at Cedars-Sinai. They took him he went to 3 different hospitals. He wound up at Cedars-Sinai. And then you had this fucking attorney that read a letter that he claimed that Eric wrote in front of the world and Channel 7 News, talking about how he want you know how when somebody talk, you know how they talk. And I know how Eric talked, and that letter wasn't Eric. He didn't write that letter. So somebody else wrote the letter. I would look into who had the most to gain. In the beginning, I thought it was just Suge and the rest, them guys that did something. But when I thought about it later, and when I saw certain things that happened, I kind of started to think about the attorney, because all of a sudden now he's claiming he owned 25% of the company, which he wound up with, and the company has never been the same. It just never been the same, and I would dare say having his body exhumed might even answer a lot of questions.
Okay, and I guess, you can do another autopsy and check for different type of poisons. And
I mean, he's the first guy that I ever knew that not had AIDS, because I knew other people, but the few people that I did know that had AIDS, it was a slow, horrible kind of death. They died over a long period of time. They got, it wreaked havoc on their body. Eric one day, like you and I are talking, and then the next day he's in the fucking hospital dying. And we never see him again. I still remember the last words he ever said to me.
What was that?
He told me that he would see me soon and don't give people a hard time, because I was real abrasive. So that was the last thing he ever said to me. That was the last thing he ever said to me. And
was it a mistake for him to go to the White House?
It all depends on how you look at it. I didn't think it was a mistake. I thought it was a lot of publicity. There was a lot of chatter, a lot of talk. From a record sales point of view, no, it wasn't a mistake. But maybe from saying, okay, these are my people, because I really did believe that Eric cut a lot of people loose once he made it. He just, he didn't want to be. He wanted to distance himself from the hood, from the streets, from the days where he sold cocaine and he and I sold cocaine. He didn't want to be other than rapping about it. You know, he didn't want to be there on the street doing the thing. But there's so many variables, things that happened at the time that, you know, I personally had to question, and and even that when I saw Suge on Jimmy Kimmel Live talking about, yeah, you just inject a person like Eazy-E, it kind of just it hit me real hard to hear him say that when I already suspected that there was foul play.
Do you think he knew what he was talking about?
Suge?
Yeah.
I think he was involved. I don't think he did it by himself. I think he had help. Somebody real close to Eric. Because Eric didn't drink. He didn't smoke weed. None of that. In the beginning, he would come on stage with a 40-ounce bottle of apple juice. Then he start drinking. You passing out in front of certain. You get drunk. You pass out in front of people that you probably shouldn't trust as much as you think you should trust, and.
So wait a minute. You saying that his rap career got him to drinking, and prior to that he didn't drink?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He didn't smoke weed. He didn't drink. Eric did none of that. He didn't. He was clean and sober. He didn't. Other than selling the yayo, that was his connection to drugs. But he didn't drink at all. And when they did that song, Dog Pound or whoever it was, and they talked about it, they said, yeah, Eric, you dying, something about AIDS or so, whatever it was. They put it out there on a record. They put that, before it ever happened. So either they were Nostradamus predicting the future, or they knew something. So,
what do you think about Suge and his impact on West Coast music and gangster rap specifically, and everything that went on with Death Row? Because there was Ruthless Records over here, which was already in play. Then you had Rap-A-Lot down south, which was Texas. And then all of a sudden, here comes this Death Row record thing, right? And
Suge just came in taking shit. He just came in gangster and taking shit. Well, he was kind of put between a rock and a hard place, because he had to come up with something. He had, from what I heard, I'm just rumors, I'm just spreading another rumor, he had fucked off Harry O's money. And so he had to come up with something. The best thing that happened to him was Vanilla Ice Ice Baby. He was able to punk him, and he handed over millions and millions and millions of dollars for Ice Baby to Suge, and that's what got the whole Death Row thing
What was the
going.
thing with the Ice Baby that he felt like he could take control of it? How did he...
The kid he was managing claimed to have wrote the song, and so
Suge was managing the kid that actually wrote the song.
They said,
and Vanilla Ice recorded it.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Vanilla Ice said it was all just cap, that they was just bullying him. They was gangstering him. So back then, there was nobody in the game like Suge. The closest, you remember 5 Heartbeats, right? Big Red. So that's what Suge became.
I said my office hours
are from 9 to 5. That's what Suge became. He must have watched that movie 1,000 times, because he became Big Red. And his power came from the fact that he had money. He started generating a lot of money. Once the money was gone, there was nobody by his side. I mean, not nobody.
How would you have to handle that situation? Had Easy Cake, look, Dave, I need you to come in. I need you to take care of this stuff. I'm overwhelmed. What would you have done?
To Suge?
I mean, how would you handle the situation? Not necessarily
like in the beginning, like when it first was going.
Yeah, how would you handle it from a business perspective? I mean, how would you?
I didn't know how to do anything business wise.
Uh-huh.
I was just. My only solution would have been to hurt him. That was it. But once he became powerful, there was no getting to him. He had too many people around him. You know, I ain't no badass. I'm nothing like that. But you know,
you Ninja Day, Karate Day.
If a person is being a problem, you gotta eliminate the problem. You can't just have a problem and let it be there in your face all the time. And that's what Suge became. He became a problem. And granted, this was during a time when Eric and I, we didn't really talk a lot during this period of time. I'll be honest, I had no clue what was going on. Somebody else had to tell me, you know, what was happening. I had no clue. Eric never told me. He never came to me. Nothing. Ever.
Okay.
Why he didn't, I don't know.
I appreciate that. Professor Melly Mail, Ninja Day, lock the door. Lock it?
Well, I mean, we can lock it up.
Proof of grind all the time, baby.
Yeah. Cali Minders, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a bro bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen.